Hi, my name's Barry Crampton. I just want to discuss and go through with a couple of things that have come up in the media in the last couple of days. Some stuff that I would expect a higher standard to be demanded from, not just for them to give, to be demanded from. And I'm going to show you why. Now, as I've said before, I don't hate EVs. EVs are great. If they suit your needs, then you should get one. By all means, you should get one. Fantastic. Save your money if you can charge from home. The key point is at the moment is if you can charge from home. Also, if you buy second hand, people keep saying, oh, depreciation doesn't matter to me, I get it on a lease. Well, usually it's business owners that get it on a lease. If you're a private person and you need to look after everybody, to be fair, everybody needs to look after the money these days. Even Jeremy Clarkson, look, he's doing his best to look after his money, and he's got millions. So everyone needs to look after the money. You would not buy an asset, you would not buy something that depreciates like a, drops like a stone. That's stupid. People keep saying depreciation doesn't matter to me. Well, it does. Depreciation matters. If you buy something, even further down the line, if you buy something with high depreciation, it usually means you can't afford it in the first place. That's what it actually means. If you can't afford it in the first place, you can't afford it second hand, and especially you can't afford it when it goes wrong, when it needs any work doing. So this is the thing that I've seen this week. So car dealer, one of my favourite sources of information, to be fair. So here we go. The first thing I see is SMMT, Auto Trader and Charge UK join forces to stamp out EV mistruths. The first thing makes me wonder why they've joined forces, why they feel the need to butt in, because Auto Trader advertise cars and sell cars for dealers. Shouldn't really matter what they're selling. They get paid whether it's an EV or an ICE car. The SMMT, they act on behalf of motor traders and motor manufacturers, and Charge UK. Yeah, not so much. They don't really act on behalf of the ICE car owners, do they? Let's be honest. So you'd have to think that they might just have a little bit of an agenda. So here we go. Trio have created a fact sheet to help consumers better understand EVs. A fact sheet designed to stop spread of mistruths and boost consumer confidence. So to stop spread of mistruths. Initiative is backed by the government. Well, we all know what a paragon of virtue this government is, don't we? It's like when I used to be a rocket scientist. I put that on my CV. Comes after House of Lords inquiry called for a go-to source for EV info. Now, really speaking, the go-to source for EV info is not really EV owners, EV sellers, people who sell chargers, or seemingly the SMMT. I don't quite know what the SMMT's agenda is or why they're getting so involved. I realise that it's the future, but the future should come in at a pace that the dealers can manage. The dealers can't manage this pace at the moment. So we'll go down a little bit. Society of Motor Manufacturers and Traders, SMMT, has joined forces with Auto Trader and Charge UK to stamp out electric car mistruths. They're going to stamp them out. Get them stamped out quick. Blooming. Them people like Barry Crampton keep telling the truth. We've got to stamp them, mistruths, innit? Well, we'll pretend that he's saying mistruths. And let's just hope he doesn't read this. Hosted on Auto Trader's website, the user-friendly simplified facts range from dispelling the myth that EVs are more likely to catch fire than ICE cars to explaining that charging infrastructure is better than some might think. Well, again, I'm not a fireman. I might have put it on my CV, but I didn't do it. But what I do know is that if there's a ICE car parked here and an EV parked there, and the ICE car catches fire, EV's minding its own business, parked next door, ICE car catches fire for some reason, even though, you know, EVs, I mean, I don't know how they get these calculations, but we'll go into it. But an ICE car is more likely to catch fire. So the ICE car catches fire, and the fire spreads to the EV. The fire guys come, they stop all the decorating and window cleaning, get to the fire station, and I'm not making fun of firemen because I couldn't do their job, honestly, but I just know a few, and the good lads too, the good lads, great to go out with. So they get to the fire station, jump in the fire engine and shoot off. I don't think they can tackle EV fires with water, but the ICE car that's on fire here, they put it out, then they have to wait 5 days for the EV to put itself out because they can't put it out. So, as I say, the one thing I do know is, even if an ICE car catches fire, a lot quicker. If an EV catches fire, it probably burns longer than 100 ICE cars. So that's not really a mistruth. And I noticed there was a fire in Hollywood the other day. And I mean, I don't even get in, I try not to get involved with the EV fires, but there's a fire in Hollywood, and I scrolled down and it said believed to have started by a battery. That this, I think it was a motor factors, by a battery. It didn't say what sort of battery, it didn't say whether it was an EV battery, but it will be, you know, one of these lithium-ion batteries, I would imagine. Or if I was a betting man, I'd put money on it. So that's the first thing. The data points will be regularly... Now, this is also an important thing as well. The data points will be regularly reviewed and updated, the group said, with the new versions issued when required. The initiative is endorsed by the Department for Transport. Well, if you've seen the person who's in charge of the Department for Transport at the moment, you're wasting your time. House of Lords inquiry warns government needs urgent action to hit the electric car target. They can't just sell them normally. They've got to impose this target that's pretty much unachievable unless they stop selling petrol, because people want petrols more than they want electrics. Further research conducted by Auto Trader in April this year showed that mistruths repeated in various media sources were impacting consumer confidence in electric cars, with 72% of consumers aware of the false electric cars catch fire narrative and 44% incorrectly believing it's true. Okay, so there's only 72%, so 28% don't know about it. 44% incorrectly believe it's true. So 44%. So why aren't the other 50%? Why aren't the other 56% just buying EVs? It's a mystery. Similarly, 70% had heard that EVs are not cheaper to run, with 33% agreeing that they believe this to be true. Well, it is true. I've worked it out. If you buy a new EV, if you go off retail prices, you buy a new EV, it depreciates faster than a petrol car. Proven fact, you just look on Auto Trader. And the amount it depreciates, even if you... I actually worked out it was cheaper to run a 5-litre Ford Mustang than it was to run something like a 10-year-old Nissan Leaf, because at the time Nissan Leafs were dropping £700 a month. So you could fuel, you know, Ford Mustangs weren't going down, and 700 quid even in a Ford Mustang, you can buy a lot of fuel for that. So again, it's not really a mistruth, is it? If you cherry pick your information, then you can make it look like a mistruth. But if you use the information that's available on Auto Trader And in cap, for valuations, and you go specific cars with specific registrations, specific mileages, specific ages, then it's true. And there's no denying it. It's not a mistruth, it's true. I've done it, I've supplied the information, I've showed the lady who thinks that she gets free holidays on a Kia Niro that it's actually cheaper to run a diesel Kia Niro than it is to run her EV. That's not a mistruth, is it? You know, so really speaking, you shouldn't really... Mistruth is... It's a mistruth. The platform added that dealer sentiment shows a significant lack of confidence in stocking and selling EVs, with the share of retailers stocking electric cars on Auto Trader stalling at around 35% in both 2023 and 2024, contrasting a previous significant year-on-year jump of 57% in 2022. Now, do you know why that is? Because in 2023, dealers lost an absolute fortune. Do you know who didn't list? Well, actually, I suppose they did, because Auto Trader have also got a leasing company, so, you know, they'll have had the EVs coming back. But that was the time when Teslas dropped £14,000. You know, they dropped 1,400 quid overnight. There was people blowing the brains out to get out of EVs. When it hit the fan, Motorpoint had 90 Teslas in stock. And I remember looking at Motorpoint's stock, and honestly, I felt for them. I don't like them. I really don't like. I don't like what they stand for. I don't like what they do. I don't like what they say. I don't like how they advertise. I don't like what they put in their adverts. I felt sorry for them. They just blew the brains out, and now people are submitting their accounts. They're making up all sorts of excuses. Some people tell the truth, and then they say basically, you know, it's down to EVs, it's down to EV sales, and so on. So that's why dealers, do you think they're stupid? You keep telling them. You know, at one time they were saying, oh yeah, you know, don't be frightened of stocking EVs, and you could get a car valued on on Auto Trader, and you could get it. You know, you could get them to buy it within 48 hours. Not an EV though, because they wouldn't do them. They won't give you a price. They won't take them in stock. So the only people I have respect for really is We Buy Any Car, because We Buy Any Car actually would give you a bid. It was a shocking bid, but they'd give you a bid, and they'd probably try and knock you down a little bit when you got to the actual place to sell it. But it was a bid, and they'd buy it. Lots of dealers, I know lots of dealers who wanted to sell EVs, who were selling new EVs, and they couldn't take a used EV in stock. They had to send them to We Buy Any Car to get rid of their old EV before they could buy a new one off them, because they wouldn't take it into stock. Do you think that has anything to do with the share of retailers stocking electric cars on Auto Trader stalling? Because I think it has. You know? Do you know what? Let me tell you a story. Years and years ago, my dad got a Jaguar, and it had a cigarette lighter in it. And me and my sister were sat in the car. My dad had gone somewhere, and we found the cigarette lighter and pressed it and opened it up, you know, pulled it out, opened it up and looked at it, and it wasn't glowing or anything. So I put my finger on it. I'm not sure whether you can still see it after like 57 years, but it burnt my finger. Guess how many times I've put my finger in a cigarette lighter since? Yeah. There you go. Separate research from Auto Trader shows that 46% of retailers believe a lack of consumer confidence in the technology is a significant barrier to adoption. Well, that would be silly, wouldn't it? You know, what I can tell you, this is me from a dealer's point of view. You know, when a car goes wrong, you know, when our cars go wrong, any warranty work and so on, do you know what it is? It's always an electric component. Very, very few. Or it's a mechanical component that's got an electrical bit attached to it that moves a flap or something. It's always one of those goes wrong. And do you know how much they cost? They cost a fortune. There's a little ECU on BMW X6s, might be on X5s too. And it's the handbrake warning ECU. And I think it's 1,140 quid, something like that. Now, this ECU is outside, and all that happens is there's a flickering on your dash. You look at it, it's a brake pad warning light, and it's flickering, and you think, oh, it just needs pads and some brake pad sensors. So you look at the brake pads. No, brake pads are just being done. The person who's put it in part exchange has just done the brake pads, and you think, that's a bit strange. It's the ECU in the handbrake cable, and it's 1,140 quid, and then you've got to fit it. We've done 3 of those. We've probably only sold between 6 and 10 X6s, but we've done 3 of these ECUs. And you know, again, guess what the first thing that we look at on an X6 is when we take it in? Yeah, it's some people will call it stalling. Other people would call it learning your lesson. Lack of consumer confidence in the technology. They drive great. It's mostly, apart from the electric motor, everything else is pretty much the same, I suppose. You know, all the other bits that go wrong on cars, door locking, electric power steering motors and things like that. Future of Roads Minister Lillian Greenwood said zero emission vehicles will drive our journey to net zero, which is why this government is committed to accelerating the transition. So the other thing is, these EV shills, I go on about one in particular, he's not bothered about the motor manufacturers going out of business and all those people, you know, in Germany and the UK, Nissan, and he's not bothered about all them going out of business because they need to get fit. They need to get fit and catch up. So what we're doing, in fact, even him, giving the odd word to Chinese EVs, and then you look at China, there's a minister's tweet, I'll try and find it, about the amount of coal-fired power stations in China, and that they're producing more CO2 and all shit, dumping shit into the atmosphere than we are, and we're cutting our EVs down, manufacturers going out of business, and we're buying EVs from China whose pollution's going through the roof. So, you know, even Auto Trader here, there's an ad. If Auto Trader were that worried about zero emissions, then they'd stop promoting Chinese EVs on their leases. That's what I think. You know, that's the only way to stop it. If you're going to cut pollution down, let's cut pollution down. Let's not make up stories. Let's not make up stories as to why we want to cut that down and get some from elsewhere that's polluting. Ensuring consumers have clear, accurate information when deciding what kind of car to buy is essential. The work by industry is absolutely vital to boosting drivers' confidence in zero emissions vehicles, and I am pleased to back it. SMMT Chief Executive Mike Hawes added, thanks to manufacturer investment, drivers have a massive choice of EV models, and picking the right one for their needs depends on having facts, not fiction. More than 1 million motorists have already gone electric and been delighted. They've been delighted. not just bought a car, get from A to B. They're delighted by their decision. And more than 1 million, that's all of them. Some of them, some of them haven't got home and thought, Jesus, I wish I'd bought this. No buyer's remorse. People who buy EVs, no buyer's remorse whatsoever. They're delighted by their decision, with many benefiting from lower running costs. With many benefiting. So not all of them then. Many? What's many? 50%? 20%? What about their depreciation? Are they delighted with that? Many benefiting from lower running costs. Not all of them. An outstanding driving experience and a smaller carbon footprint. Outstanding it's not outstanding. It just goes zzz, zzz. There's something different. To me, there's something different. I'm a petrol head. It's born and bred into me. Tinkering about with my dad's old Jaguar in the garage, his Audi, his Sunbeam Rapier. I suppose it goes back many, many happy times spent with my dad in the garage, messing about with cars, learning about cars. So now, when I get a leaf blower and it's a 2-stroke, and you put a 2-stroke coil in and you're pulling away and the thing won't start, you pull it like crazy, then you end up sore shoulder, blisters on your fingers here, keep pushing the choke, pumping it, priming it. Then it starts and then you big smile. Sore fingers, sore tennis elbow, sore shoulder. It stinks. Or you can go and get an electric leaf blower where you plug the battery in, plug it in, and you go. And that's it. You can have swept your drive in the time it's taking you to start your 2-stroke leaf blower. But there's nothing better. If you're a bloke, if you're a bloke's bloke, there's nothing better Sunday morning than waking everybody up with your leaf blower. Everybody else in the street, your leaf blower. Revving it up. Nothing better, trust me. It's like having a Mustang. Why do you have to rev the Mustang just before you switch the engine off? Why'd you do it? It's the sound. What do you do when you get home in your electric car? We used to hear my dad's car pulling up the drive. Come home from work. Kids, your dad's home. And we'd run to the front door, greet my dad. First thing you know about your dad getting home now is when the front door opens and he comes in. Well, we used to be stood behind the door. Dad! Stood behind the door. Jump on him. All you people who drive electric cars these days, you are missing so many golden times with your children. All through shit articles like this. It's just rubbish. It's rubbish, honestly. Here we go. Making the switch can be daunting for some. Given the need to consider the charging as well as driving, so a single source of truth can avoid any confusion. And the truth is that the time to go electric is now. Erin Baker, editorial director at Autotrader, commented, "Electrification is a significant change, and with change comes uncertainty and confusion. And that's why we're trying to help share more balanced and fact-based narratives with both retailers and consumers to give everyone confidence to navigate their electric journey." So, Erin, there's uncertainty and confusion, and that's why they're trying to help share a more balanced and fact-based narrative. Erin's like clarity. She's gonna unconfuse you and show you that there's nothing to be frightened of. Vicky Reid, CEO of Charge UK, said, "Clear, concise, accurate information is key to helping more people understand what's involved in switching to an EV and why they're there's no need to hold back. It's great to see a range of organisations come together to ensure consumers have access to easily digestible facts. Facts again. And Charge UK is proud to have contributed to this work. A summary of the facts can be viewed here. Electric cars, facts and figures. That's it. This is on a page. I've not shrunk it or anything. This is it's come up. So, but what I will do, electric cars, facts and figures. Whether you're thinking of buying an electric car or just doing your research, find all the facts and statistics about, easy for me to say, about EVs here to make an informed decision. All the facts. Now there you go. That's it. That's the picture there. So I'm going to enlarge that, and see enlarging it. What's EV pricing like? 1 in 3 used electric cars under 20,000. 21 brand new electric cars recommended retail price under 30,000. Well, 1 in 3 cars, 20,000. We'll have a look at that in a second. The reason they're under 20,000 is they've depreciated so much because nobody wants to buy them. And you'll have seen, I've done a couple of videos over the last couple of months about supposedly used EVs flying off the shelves and so on. There's another report come out, I think it was yesterday, showing that EV sales are down by 11%. So it just depends who is statistics. Lies, damn lies, and statistics. Thank you, Edward Legg, if you're watching. Edward taught me that years ago, and I've always remembered it. What about running costs? Save up to £750 a year. Right, but let me go. That's the size of the page. £750 a year, that big. Then this, what's that underneath? No, still can't see it. Let me just take a photograph of that, just in case you can't see. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'll enlarge it. I mean, without my reading glasses on, even when I enlarge it there, if you save up to £750 a year, if you mostly charge at home compared to petrol. If you mostly charge at home. So what does that mean? Does that mean, what percentage? If you don't charge at home, you're not going to save anything. It's going to cost you more than the petrol. That's a fact. This isn't a fact. It's no fact, no clear court, no hard, because it's not right. There's all sorts of other variables. Did you buy it new? Are you a private? Are you getting tax relief? Because if you're not getting tax relief or benefit in kind relief, or it's on a lease, there is a chance that you could lose a fortune. I mean a serious fortune, lots, thousands of pounds you could lose. Not save £750 a year, you could lose thousands of pounds in a year. Can I charge on the go? As of October, the first thing to remember is if this small print, read that first. Very, very important. Can I charge on the go? As of October, there are 71,459 public charge points in total across the UK, including 13,000 in the small print, public charge points in total across the UK, including 13,953 rapid and ultra rapid chargers that can charge a car to 80% in just 20 to 40 minutes. Are they the ones that fry your battery? Don't shoot the messenger. But if you charge at home and you charge slowly, and you charge between 20 to 80%, your battery lasts longer. I think I'm correct. But if you go to superchargers and you charge it to 100%, it doesn't last as long. So, next one. Will my EV battery last? Yes. That's another fact. Yes. Data suggests. No. No, I mean, is it a fact or does data suggest? Because this is what we're giving people, facts. Data suggests you should expect your EV to last as long as an ICE car. Getting EVs repaired is getting easier with the increasing number of skilled technicians. So we're not there yet, are we? But it's getting easier to repair them. Okay. So that's not a fact, is it? What can I expect from a full charge? The average range of a new EV is 236 miles. That's about 2 weeks driving for most people. Well, it is, but it's recommended that you only charge to 80% and you only use it. Let it drop to 20%. So 236 times 80%. So that's 188 miles. So you got 188 miles. 236 times 20%, 47 miles. So you've got a range of 141 miles basically. If you want your battery to last, you've got 141 miles. So that's not 2 weeks driving, is it? Are EVs greener? Yes. Typically, an EV emits just 1/3 of the harmful greenhouse gases of a petrol car during its lifetime. During its lifetime, when it's actually produced, they create more CO2 producing an EV than they do an ICE car. So, when it rolls off the production line, it's overdrawn. And it has to do, even according to these, and I say these lot, because I'm disgusted in them. I'm disgusted. It's misinformation. Misleading at the very, very least. They're not facts. Are EVs greener? Yes. Typically, yes. No ambiguity. Are EVs greener? Yes. Typically, an electric car emits just 1/3 of the harmful greenhouse gases of a petrol car during its lifetime. Further research from Carbon Brief shows that buying a new electric car to replace an older car, so it has to be an older car. Why does it have to be an older car? How old does it have to be? You know, say for instance you bought a petrol car last year, would it still benefit the climate after driving 20 to 32,000 miles in an EV? If you've got an older car, why have you got an older car? Because you can't afford a newer car, right? So you're not going to buy an EV, really. Realistically, you're just going to buy another probably used petrol. Or you might buy a used EV. But benefits the climate after driving 20 to 32,000 miles. Would it surprise you to know that 79% of the EVs on Auto Trader have done less than 32,000 miles? So they still owe us clean air. So all those if those cars hadn't been made, we'd be better off right at this moment in time. Not in the future, because as you can hear, I've got a cough now. I don't wait until they've all done 32,000 miles before my cough clears up. Whilst not everyone can afford to buy an electric car just yet, we can make other environmentally friendly vehicle choices. If buying a new VE is not an option for you, you could consider getting a newer and cleaner petrol car, or maybe even a hybrid might be an option for you. Well, hybrid's neither here nor there. It's got a petrol engine, it's got an electric engine. I've used a hybrid myself. To be honest, I think it's a waste of time. Absolute waste of time. When I first got one, I think it had an electric range of 15 mile, supposedly. When it was raining and you got the heater on, it had a range of 9 mile. I couldn't even get home and back to work with the electric after it being charging all day. And then when I wanted to nip out in it at work during the day, unplug it. Oh, what a ball ache. There are also environmentally friendly journey choices to consider. Every journey is a choice. Walking, cycling, using public transport or even an e-bike can reduce your car usage in a little way. it's just rubbish. For instance, let's just say the cheapest electric cars on Auto Trader are under £2,000. One, I'm going to finish with this because the rest of it is just rubbish. I've gone through it. What's electric car pricing like? 1 in 3 second-hand EVs are under £20,000. So we'll go to Auto Trader here. And I'm not just going to put electric cars in for this. I'm going to put used cars. Second-hand EVs. So used cars. We'll go to used cars. So first of all, there's 400. I'll have to write this down. And do you know when somebody doesn't like what you're saying? And I've experienced this with our friend Carl. When somebody doesn't like what you're saying, everything you do, every single thing you do, annoys them. Somebody was having a go at me the other day for using a calculator. I've got a spreadsheet on my computer. I've got a spreadsheet function on it, and he gets a calculator out. Yep, and do you know what? I actually wrote an Excel program for our garage from start to finish that did all the invoicing, worked out all the salesman's commissions, showed me how much profit I'd made or how much profit the dealership had made, sent a memo to the parts department for the plates and any parts, accessories, sent a workshop order to the service department, and if it was a brand new order, sent a message to my sales administrator to order the car. I did all that on Excel, and I'm brilliant at Excel. And the only reason I'm using a calculator is to annoy you. Just you. That's why I'm doing it. Oh, and it's easier. It's easier and quicker. You know, some of the old things, I mean, this is a lot better than an abacus, this calculator, you know, or when I first started in the motor trade, when we worked out a finance document, you used to have a book for halves and thirds, and you used to have to already reckon a book and look up the halves and thirds, and you couldn't make any mistakes. You know, if you made a mistake, you've got to throw the finance application away and put another. You couldn't initial it; it had to be perfect. So, you know, you learn not to make mistakes. When calculators came in, it was a godsend. So here we are. So there's 435,432 cars. This is 1 in 3 second-hand cars are under £20,000. So we'll go there, we'll use cars, and we want under £20,000 price. So we'll put up to 20,000. Up to 20,000. So there's 305,935 used cars up to 20,000. So we'll search those. And then we go to filter, and we go to fuel type. So 182,207 petrols, 94,857 diesels, 22,010 hybrids, 6,395 electrics. Why haven't all those electrics sold? If EVs are flying off the shelves, why are there 6,395 electric cars? But there's only 6. So, as far as choice goes, 182,207 minus 6,395 equals. So as far as choice goes, there's 175,812 more petrols for sale. Only 6. Why haven't those used electric cars? Why are they depreciating? Why are they tanking? There's only those to choose from. Why haven't those gone up? They should be they should be holding the money like nobody's business. Why haven't they gone up? Because nobody wants them. Otherwise they'd go up. Market conditions would force those up. With only a limited supply Too many people wanting a limited amount drives the prices up. It's not driving the prices up. Nobody wants it. So yeah, there's only 6395. Then we go on to the next one. The cheapest electric cars on Auto Trader are under 2,000. And right now, 1 in 10 used electric car sales on Auto Trader were under £15,000. Okay, so 1 in 10 electric cars were under 15,000. 1 in 10 electric cars were under 15,000. That means they depreciate a lot, doesn't it? Because they start off higher. They've not been out longer than petrols, so they depreciate more. Anyway, let's go to this. So we'll click on that. So the cheapest electric cars on Auto Trader are under 2,000. Let's have a look at the ones under 2,000, because I've got a sneaking suspicion that does it say anything else? Here we go. Let me read this. As with any car, the cheapest models available are often the oldest, so the most affordable are likely to be cars such as the Nissan Leaf or the Renault Zoe. These would make good runaround cars for many households who just need to do short local trips. Now, you remember before when I was saying about if you can't afford them new, you're going to struggle to service and maintain them second hand? That's the thing, because parts for a used one, no matter how old and how many miles it's done, parts for a used one, unless you get them from factors, motor factors, cost as much as it, well, actually it costs more, because if you bought a car, say 50 grand, or you bought all the parts and put it together yourself, it probably ended up costing you like 100 grand or something, because the sum of its parts are actually worth more than they sell it for. So you've got the maintenance side of it to put in. But, so these would make good runaround cars for many households who just need to do short local trips. Price. From to £2,000. There's 16,000. So you've got here 16,408 results. 16,408 vehicles for sale on Auto Trader up to £2,000, right? 16,408, all of them. Let's put electrics in. Yeah. These are facts. 11,978 petrols, 4,384 diesels, under £2,000. Electric, 5. The cheapest electric cars on Auto Trader are under £2,000. There's 5 of them. Now, all you 5 people who want a car under 2,000, don't be rushing out now when I've just told you. You can't be doing that. That's cheating. So there's 5. Let's have a look at the 5. So we'll search the 5 cars. So this is on Auto Trader. So I've put in that I want an electric car. I want to spend up to £2,000. And it's brought these up. It's not actually put them in any order here. So I'm also going to filter here and searching relevance. You've got age oldest. We're going to do price, low to high. Search 5 cars. There's one at £1,500. There's one at £1,600. There's one at £1,800. There's one at £2,000. Then there's another at £2,000. There's an advert here for I want to spend £2,000, but there's an advert here for a brand new high relevance. That's what I put all those searches in. But Auto Trader think that I might be interested in a Hyundai Ioniq 5N. Or what else might I'd be interested in? A 21,000, a 10 times more priced Polestar. they think I might be interested. A Kia EV6 at £45,000. Well, that's that 22.5 times more than I want to spend. An MG4, 19,944. A Volkswagen ID3, 16.5 grand. They think I might be interested in that. Right, now then. Now, I've got a hunch about this. It says bargain EV. These facts, bargain EV. So they're going to suggest to you that for running around town, you get one of these EVs. Five. We'll go into the Mitsubishi. Let me just see. We'll go into the Mitsubishi. And here we go. 1,500 quid. Does it say anything? Shows both working, MOT and tax till April. Right. Let's just have a look. So all this information's available on Auto Trader. I'm not showing you anything. So the registration number is WN11CHK. Nobody's made any attempt to hide this. I'm not, you know, going against anybody's GDPR. All this is available on the internet. Check MOT. WN11CHK. Continue. Let's see here. Show. Wow. Wow. So this is, you're going to buy a cheap electric runaround. Don't forget also, brake discs and pads last 100,000. It's not unusual for them to last 100,000 miles, but this one's on 34,000. Granted, it's older. I get that. Front coil spring corroded both sides. Offside front lower suspension arm corroded but not seriously weakened. Offside front brake disc corroded. Offside front service brake binding but not excessively. So it's binding already. It will only get worse. And if it's binding, it will heat your brake discs up. Your brake disc will warp. And then every time you put your foot on the brake, your steering wheel will shake, your foot pedal will go, and your car is basically not stopping correctly. Your brakes are compromised. Front hydraulic brake caliper corroded but not seriously weakened, both sides. Rear brake drum corroded, both sides. Vehicle structure is corroded. So this is, you know, this is under £2,000. You know, this advice from the SMMT and Auto Trader and the charging people. I mean, you don't take any notice of them, for goodness sake. So we'll go back. We'll go back to the next one. Nissan Leaf, 1,600 quid. Great running Nissan Leaf, but needs some work and MOT. Oh, it needs an MOT. So it's £1,600. It's under 2,000. It's under 1,600. It's under £2,000, but it's not got an MOT. Driver window and passenger side back window don't go down. Right. Shocks need replacing. 2 dents on rear driver's side. Well, that's neither here nor there. Otherwise, a wonderfully nippy little car that is perfect for city and town use. Range in the region of around 40 miles, which is typical of a Nissan Leaf of this age. So it's a scrapper, really. Is there a registration number? Oh no, he's covered the registration number up as well. So that's always a bit of a giveaway, really. If they cover the registration number up, they've got something to hide. So we'll go back to the next one. So really speaking, there's only 4. This one's got a this one's 1,800 quid and it's got a battery lease. Oh my word. So a battery lease, is that about 70 quid a month? Now, I'm not sure what these photos are. Oh, look at the discs. Air conditioning compressor malfunction. Oh, vacuum pump multiplex signal missing. Traction battery relay circuit error. Hi there, I'm looking to part exchange my 2015 Renault Zoe, which I've owned for nearly 4 years. It is rare to get Zoe that comes in this beautiful blue hue. It does have quite a bad scratch. Oh dear. It may also require a battery health check, but if the battery needs replacing, the battery lease hire company will cover those funds. However, the car works perfectly. Next MOT due 11th of 2nd, 2025. So it needs a new battery. You know, people don't, it may do, it may does. So that's another one. Let's go on to this one. So with 3 in, there's not one worth buying. This one's ready. Oh, it's a battery lease as well. So it's not just £2,000. You're going to have to, it's not going to cost you much to charge, but you've got to pay for the battery lease. Is there anything there? Oh, dear me. Please note this has a check electric system fault light displaying. It was put on diagnostics at my local garage and they couldn't find a fault code. I have been driving it for a few months with no problems with this showing. So it could be making it worse for a few months, you never know. An online forum suggests it may be an error or a minor issue. However, the car will likely need to be taken to Renault for them to run diagnostics. So this is reflected in the price. MOT due 6th of 12th, 24. So next month. So the MOT is due next month. It's got a major fault on it. And you've got to pay the battery lease. The cheapest electric cars on Auto Trader are under £2,000. And right now, 1 in 10 used electric car sales on Auto Trader were under £15,000. I think really that's misinformation, isn't it? What do you think? Do you want to know something else? Just before I go, I'll just do something else. The best seller ever was Renault Clios. Little Renault Clio petrols and Renault Clio diesels. Let's just have a look at them. Price low to high. Search. In fact, I'll tell you what. Let's put up to £2,000. Let's you know, play with a straight bat here. Up to 2,000. So there's 409 cars. There's 409 little Renaults. 409 little Renaults under £2,000. Remember Nicole and Papa? These were the best sellers ever. So 16,408 to choose from. ICE cars or 5 EVs. You can make statistics do anything depending on what you want them to show. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.